and gentlemen of YouTube, this is Travis Semulin Sours, and we are jumping into a traditional best of 3 Strixhaven Draft on MTG Arena. Chat, say hello to YouTube. I have not been going Lorehold in the same manner that I have in the past, where I'm trying to build it into some weird combo deck, but I am definitely first picking the Scroll Wielder. This is one of the better Pillarfield Oxes that you can bump into. I like this one. Doesn't need too many spells for it to be good. Although, obviously, the more you get, the better. But it even works with all your summon spells, too. This is a really powerful rare. I'm going to try quite a bit to play it. And it will be affecting some of the choices we make going forward. For example, if I open a pack that has good spells, I'm far more likely to be interested in them. Now, the other thing that's pretty good with good spells is Rutha, because why would you want to cast a spell once when you could cast it twice? I do think it's pretty reasonable to try to build 2-color decks, but I would branch out for 3 for this. Now, if there was like an Igneous Inspiration, maybe even an Expel, we could talk. But I think I can build an interesting spells deck with these two. Let's see where this takes us. We'll go on a journey together. A journey of spell weaving and scroll wielding. This one leaves me a bit wanting, but I can be down with the Expel. That one's a little easier for people to play around. The reason I don't love Expel with Scroll Wielder is because, like, if this is the only thing you've got, they just don't attack for a turn, and it's gone. But, you know, that's okay. It's not like we wouldn't use it. And we don't have to play Rutha. It is a solid removal spell. Though it can make for sad elephants, and no one really wants sad elephants. Welcome back, Techno Shaman. All right, Divine Gambit is usually something I try to wheel because people are bad and won't take it, but it's too good with Radiant Scroll Wielder. I mean, that's what I'd like to do, Kuya. But we're just going to gobble this up. I can't really risk it. There's not really anything else realistic for us to take here. Like, Campus would be fine, I guess. We could consider a Lash of Malice and get into Silverquill, but even then we'd probably rather have this. Hello, Michael. We got knocked out in the finals of the pod, which is not a bad thing. It means we can do this draft for YouTube and play more Magic, because tournaments are mostly waiting. Well, what's funny is we had 2 rematches, and I think, Kuya, the way our decks lined up, I didn't even know Natural Order was in this set. That's crazy to me. Solve the Equation's pretty dang good with both of these, but I don't really want to be like blue-white. Oh, this is, no, I was thinking of Arcane Subtraction. Sorry, too many things are going on. I got to decide what our pick is, and then I can babble for a minute. Because I could see an argument for just take a medium 2-drop and play it, but that's not exciting either. I could see potentially playing the Prismari Pledge Mage, as it would be a decent blocker, even if we're not splashing blue. I was trying to figure out what we're supposed to do with Natural Order, and I don't think we're supposed to do anything with Natural Order. Yeah, I think the Pledge Mage is better than the Historian. There's a question of whether or not we want the Frost Trickster, but I don't quite know where I'm going yet. Okay, it's just going to be Lorehold. It's just going to be Lorehold, and that's fine by me. It doesn't mean we couldn't potentially splash Rutha, but a lot of Rutha's power is you play her early, she blocks a little bit, people are scared of her, etc. But I think with the Rip Apart that late will go. Anyway, the tournament was double elimination, which meant I had to play Kuya twice and beat him both times, and then play Ashton twice and get beaten by him 2 times. And the matchups were such that I don't think it mattered how many times me and Kuya played. I was probably going to win. And I don't think it mattered how many times me and Ashton played. He was probably going to win. It's earlier than I usually like to be grabbing a Spirit Summonings, but I don't love Enthusiastic Study. You can do some work with it, and I'd take one, but I'd want to get it a little later. And the blue is dried up completely, so I feel pretty confident with our let's get into Lorehold plan. I mean, I do like me a Cogwork Archivist, but I think we just take a medium 2-drop here, or a medium 4. I always end up cutting this dude, but like, I think I'd rather just have more Pledge Mages or the 2 ones in white, because we're not really super heavily Spirit focused. I think I need to give Fuming Effigy another look here. That's a really good combat trick. I don't play a lot of combat tricks, but 1 mana for +3/+2 is a good combat trick. All right, and we got medium 2-drop anyway. I don't think I want the Biblioplex. I could see it being okay, but I don't know that it can fit in here. Whereas Thrill of Possibility, I think I could work. We lost in the finals of our pod in the losers bracket. I also think I'm going to get free Blood Age Generals, so let's just spin them all. And I still don't even think I want them over this. All right, so a couple Guiding Voices, maybe a red burn spell, and we got something here, eh? And if we can splash this, cool. If we can't, that's cool too. If I had been in the MPL, I think I could have convinced everyone else in the MPL. Would this be good to buy back? Because, I mean, it seems like Dragon's Approach would be pretty good. I think I would have registered a deck that was 60 islands, and I could have convinced everyone else to do the same thing. And let that be their coverage. Because that's exactly what I would have done. And I'd have stared at the camera, let it get to the fuse, and then play my island for the turn and pass. Second Expel is nice. We don't have any way to fetch these things currently, so I don't know that I want to take more. I just want to Lorehold Pledge Mage. Like, this deck could end up being aggressive adjacent. I can probably use the second Expel. I'm envisioning this being a little bit more control-y deck, but it may not be, actually. Shock's fine, though. Sure. Yeah, I think we're moving into a bit more of an aggressive deck, because I'm liking the Study Break here, mainly because I don't have any other Learn. I don't think we're on Rutha currently. The mana's just not showing itself. There's not going to be teams looking for Magic players, Limestone. But I hear you. I hear you. And maybe I wouldn't actually do that. Props to them for working out their notice even though they got fired. I think it kind of... The MPL sucked. That wasn't the fault of anybody that was in it. And I think they got a bit of a shaft in this. Pilgrim of the Ages would be very nice. Yes, you will do nicely, my friend. Huh. Yeah, I imagine he will be willing to share those. Let's just take the campus and have good mana here, eh? I've been really wanting a Guiding Voice. I also really want the second Pilgrim. It's just a great way to build up a bunch of mana. I think the Pilgrim's more valuable at this point because we can use the Study Break defensively or offensively. This guy, I'm probably not going to want to use. but we'll take it in case we need it. Bloody General is filler? Sure, come on in, bud. I like 4/2 drops. Makes me feel safe. I'm not 100% sure I want to play the Stonerise Spirit currently. Second Spirit Summonings is quite welcome. That means if I get another learn card, I can play it. Yeah, well, I don't concern myself with what idiots think. I don't think we're going to play first day of class, but it is a learn spell and we're a little short. That's probably just an upgrade to the Stonerise Spirit, although I can't pass this introduction to Annihilation. We literally just lost a tournament because I didn't have one. Don't think I want this either, which makes me sad, but we could get there. And size boards matter sometimes. Right now, I don't have a super compelling plan to win the game if the Scroll Wielder is killed. I'm not really giving this guy any abilities other than Vigilance. But if I picked up one of the double strikers and have the flyer in the deck, I think we could, and I'm certainly in the market. Like, this maybe makes the Stonerise Spirit playable. I think we may end up with a little bit more aggressive build of this than I was initially anticipating, but I'm down with that. There's my Guiding Voice. I do want an Elemental Summonings too. It's nice to have access to those, and I think we would play 3 of these. But this Guiding Voice is kind of cinching me on, though, we're going to play a slightly more aggressive version of this than I'm used to. There's my Elemental Summonings if I want it. There's also a Wrath, and I kind of don't feel like I can pass this. Like, this just changes the nature of your deck. I wish there was like a Animate Dead spell in red-white, because I feel like my top end is lacking just a tiny bit right now. I'm going to be aggressive with 10 creatures. I don't know how that's going to work. It's probably going to work like this. Because this sort of looks like a deck. And 2 of those Wraths in your sideboard? That seems crazy to me. There's the Lorehold Pledge Mage, which I think I want. It's a question of what do I don't want. I don't necessarily have to play Thrill of Possibility, but I kind of like it. But there's a Start from Scratch. There's a Lorehold Pledge Mage. I'm semi-interested in a lot of these. The problem is I don't quite have room for them, so I feel like we may as well just make the mana base better. Like, if I take this, it would put us at 23 cards. Although Start from Scratch is nice to have access to. Let's get that one. Because I could play 16 and be pretty happy. 16 lands, that is. We want to side that in one day. Chat. Y'all be crazy. Yeah, okay, good mana it is. One of the reasons you're playing, and an Inkling Summonings, and a Guiding Voice. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, the deck's finished. I think we take the Inkling Summoning. I wish there was another one, but there'll be times where we're happy to have that. Okay, now I'm definitely playing 16 lands. I was going to say one of the reasons you play 17 lands is so that you can hit your colors. This deck is not going to have that problem at all. Not with 4 bloody campuses. That's a lot of campuses, yo. And we can use this dude to fetch up planes. I actually don't think I'm playing 5. But 4 I'm pretty excited about. I need to fit enough planes in here that the Pilgrim of the Ages can actually get them. So many campi. So this would give me 9, 7, 8, 9, 10. This mana seems like it could use a little work. Although we are a white heavy deck. So I've got room for 12 more lands. I could go 6 and 6, but I want to go a little heavier. So I think I like 7 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Seems good. Yeah, I think I can dig it. And I think we got enough stuff to make the Orator do something here. Like, we could give him double strike and flying. We could kill somebody out of nowhere with that and infuriate. We have a shovel? I think there's one in the garage. A lot of land. That's okay. Means we could, for example, draw... Well, we could draw Lorehold Blood Mage. That'd be sweet. And any of our learn spells would be pretty good from here. Phrases are about. Who's a good casting? You're a good cat thing. Yes, you are. I thought they was pop quizzing. They ain't pop quizzing. They fuming. Of the Fiji variety. Hadn't seen a lot of people making their marks. That's a bold move, Cotton. I'm a little concerned about them just untapping and killing the scroll wielder. So I think we're... Yeah, and it doesn't even do that much right now. I think we're just going to, like, bring this in end of turn. Because Ruth is a little scary. Something to be worried about. That's pretty good too.
I just need to keep a cool head and I'll be fine.
There you go, Billy Boyd. All right, sadly now we are not hitting many options and so must commit more to the board. What happens if I swing with both of these? They probably eat this and trade these? That does get the board a little clearer. And it's not like the Pilgrim won't be back. And we could still eventually hit the Wrath. I'm sorry, John. I also hope that is a mistake for your sake. That's kind of perfect. Now we're at a point where I kind of have to kill Quint, which is incredibly awkward. I'm doing well, Metal Crunchy. How are you?
There's got to be a spell somewhere.
I hope not. Yeah, the Mana Leak lives in London. Winding down from a busy weekend sounds good. So we may indeed need the Wrath, and it wouldn't even stop the Rutha. But at least we're not dealing with this guy.
I guess I need to study more.
I guess so. We did get married in Paris. I don't think I want to upkeep Scribe, but I might want to, so there's no reason not to leave that open. No, Paris, Virginia. Yeah, I don't think I want to do that, because I can at least get this dude back and replay him, which is not great. We have all of our planes. We will be upkeep scrying now. Yeah, we did steal a lot of names here. And I have a lot of land. Poor exiled rip apart. Poor dead scroll wielder. I was thinking we was gonna draw spells and they'd be good. But then we didn't, and it was bad. The good news is with the Scroll Wielder dead, every spell is a feast for the Tome Shredder. We've got a couple spirit summons and a couple... We've got pretty decent lessons. We'll just put it at that. We could have included Rutha in this, but she would not be that great on this board state, for example. I'm actually going to hold this dude because we may get into a point where we need to Wrath. Anatomy would usually be good too. We have two spirit summonings, we have an elemental summonings, we have an inkling summonings. I guess I can look at the deck and show you. Two spirit summonings, introduction to annihilation. We have a start from scratch in here somewhere. Yeah, and that's all of it. But now this guy may actually be useful. We've got pretty good lessons, I think. We've certainly got plenty of lands. Gambit could finally take out Rutha, which I think we're interested in. I don't know what else they got, but it'll be nice not to have to deal with her. I like emotes too, they're cool. You looking to wrath me? What's up, Yus? Now I don't want to scry anymore because worst case scenario, I'm getting this dude back. And that ain't great, but he's fine. He blocks one of the 3/2s. Well, now maybe I do. But I was too slow. We're still like stable adjacent. I think I'm supposed to take a wild draw here. They're pretty enthusiastic about their studying. We maybe draw one of them removal spells. that we put in the deck, please? That one's pretty good. Am I dead? Do I have to fire it off now? There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I do have to fire it off now. Oh, I can't do it like that. I have to do it for 1. We do not have a way to buy it back. That was the one spot I should have just taken a wild draw. Because I think we're still just dead here without our Wrath. I just want to look if I had clicked that fast enough. We would not have hit it. We would have hit that and not been able to cast it. Alright. We got a little flooded there. And also didn't have an incredibly aggressive opener. I think I should have included the Biblioplex Assistant here. And I don't think I can afford to have a 2-drop that can't attack effectively. I had the mana pre-turn? I'm not sure what that means. That sounds like a lot of fun, Morik. Opposite problems. This displeases the Travis, but I'm not keeping a 1-lander on the play. This one we can give a go. I don't have a shuffle, so whatever we send back, we're not getting. And I think it needs to be the assistant. Did I? Okay, then I screwed that up. Could I have killed them with it? I don't think I had the mana to kill them with it. Although I suppose that's possible. We do have the Pilgrim to shuffle, that's fair. I forgot about them. That's funny. So I just screwed up is what you're saying. I can believe that. I do think this set is geared more towards people who want to play than people who want to draft. The draft is an activity, the game is the game. At least that's been my take so far.
Art and combat aren't so different.
What?
Perhaps I need to study more.
They do have a Draconic Intervention, so I need to be careful about playing stuff out, but I also need to kill them. It's an awkward spot. Yeah, so they're going to Intervention for 1 here, which is way better for us than them intervention for 2 or 3. But I tell you what I'm not going to do is add more to this board. Scroll Wielder could be pretty good, though. I don't know. We could also just kind of do this. That seems like it might be reasonable. I want to play my good cards, though, you know? Correct. Tournament's over. We got knocked out in the finals on the pod. And I think we could have played that matchup 500 times and maybe won it twice. Two Bookworms and Infinite Ramp is tough to beat. We had some good cards, though, but I think he just had I wouldn't necessarily say a better deck, but one that was certainly not favorable for us to beat. All right. You got yourself one of them there combat tricks. That's a tough one right there. I think I need to just commit to the board here and then untap and kill that, which is not really what I want to be doing with my Cackle with Power, but it may be what I have to do with my Cackle with Power, because I also don't want to die. I think they're just looking to bring that little dude back this turn, which is fine. I can block it. Cackle with lifelink could be quite nice. The question is, are we bold enough to block this and use the Infuriate? And I think the answer is yes. Because I suspect that they have another Enthusiastic Study. They've shown me 2 of them. So this is a great way for us to make sure we're not dead. Well, that can certainly resolve first. I think I can save this dude, right? Yeah, I can save this dude. They're dealing 8 damage. That would be 3. Yeah, he's safe. Scroll wielder for the win. All right, let's do our Stream Raiders battle and then try the next round. I think I could have won that other one if I was paying attention. The YouTubers are probably screaming at me right now. Sorry, YouTubers. I'm a little hungry. Sim Wifenet came down a minute ago and was like, "You hungry?" I was like, "No, I'm fine." And then she goes upstairs and I'm like, "Now I'm hungry." Well, once you know that your opponent's playing two enthusiastic studies, you can change your tactics a little bit, right? I ain't saying it makes you a maniac to play two of them, but a lot of decks aren't playing two. I usually think of that as something going in like an aggressive red-white deck, but they were splashing for Rutha. And for all we know, messed up some of their mana. That's why I'm not splashing for Rutha. Also, it helps when we draw the Mythic and have the mana up to cast it. It's been a fancy Lava Axe, but that's been good enough. Adam with the kills, Bismarcket with the assists, rewards. For Techno Shaman, the Brucinator, Wee Wizard, and Orcish Artillery. It can certainly win some games. It is not an unreasonable magic card. Because generally speaking, you don't play it. Every once in a while, it's exactly what you need. That's an entirely different hand, but it's one that we keep. Yeah, I've certainly felt like 16 lands was plenty for this deck. What did you get, John? An electric bike, eh? Now you're just making me hungrier. That's not very nice. They're getting a mountain here, eh? Or they're a monster. I've played a few blue-white decks in my time as well. Yes, Michael, for sure. I would play 3 copies of Weaponize in the right deck. You're really thinking this one through, eh? But I knew what they were going to get the whole time. Or Mardu. I hate thinking that I might actually do this, but I think we're about to fire off an Infuriate for damage to face. I kind of can't make myself do it. They're not low enough for that to be the play. It could mean they're holding a white card. Which makes me more likely to use, well, I want to use the Rip Apart on that, but I also kind of can't use the Rip Apart on that. You know what I mean? Because if I do, they'll just pop it. I'll try and remember to scry this time. If they use Burying Books here, I'm going to rip that apart. That works too. Because they are very clearly looking to get to the mana. Well, the Pilgrim's not there just to attack or block, right? That's not what he's for. It's a value card. They can also work with some of the lore hold mechanics. Like you're generally, in this deck I'm not, but in some lore hold decks you're milling yourself. Now I wonder if we use a combat trick to get through that. We do not. Well, the Hall Monitor Luminancer deck doesn't want to win, is probably its biggest challenge. Which one's Biomathematician? Is that the one that just comes down and makes a token? He's fine. I don't think he's busted. Yeah, he's okay. Which is funny because like in most core sets, he'd be absurd. Me. I don't really feel compelled to do anything here. Do you? Like, we could attack with both in Mastery, but you're going to need to cast something else, bud. Like, we've reached the stage where they're likely to slam down something like a Serpentine Curve. I don't need a whole lot more to finish this off. Don't need an expel right now. We got anything dead? We got that orator. And this is interesting. So I'm committing a little more than I wanted to the board, but mainly because it's something they're going to have to be forced to answer. Because I don't think they can let either of these connect. Yeah, we're still kind of ahead on this board, so sitting on the Wrath doesn't make too much sense to me. Well, I mean, firing it off doesn't make a lot of sense. Makes me wonder if they're sitting on a Wrath. Shock, you say? Okay, okay, okay. I suppose we go ahead and expel this guy. Look like we ain't on anything. See what they have to do. That's basically a 2-for-1, but it ain't a bad one. They've presumably been holding an answer for this fella for a while. That doesn't surprise me much. I do not see a mighty need to show them the scroll wielder. Some world where we scry upkeep, but it would surprise me. Guess they're on a shock. which just leaves them on the exact same board, more or less. Or they're not. All right, I gotta go pee. I'll be right back. Yeah, I mean, maybe the only thing they could still do, but I already seen the one shock, so ain't a lot we can do about it. This looks like your typical Quandrix deck. We didn't see counters, which are something I'm usually a little worried about from them. I think we probably got them on the power level side of things. The Bibliopex assistant is again somewhat interesting to me. So I think I like that, and although the Pledge Mage was okay in that game, I don't think I need that much early action. I think what we need is 2 combat professors, but I don't have them. Meh. It ain't great, but we can play it. I guess they're less likely to want to shock this, but it doesn't matter. They still kind of have to if they got one. Maybe I'm bad. Don't know how first strike works. Maybe I'm not. Needed a little bit of food for these fellas. We'll be back, don't worry. A little nervous about slapping down Guiding Voice when they've got that much mana up and we know they've got a bunch of shocks and stuff. I don't think we're angling to do that anytime soon. Although it looks like they don't have one. You'd almost assuredly have shocked this fella, right? I would have. That was not a happy serpentine curve. All right, let's party. I guess they don't like to party. All right, one more, and we got it. I believe. There'd curve right down to the grave. It sure did. It does feel good to be playing best of 3 again. I kind of missed it. That's a clunky hand. But it's not a bad one. Taplands have literally never gotten me. They're just great. We're going to need to change some removal spells here, because this is quite the pupil. An oracular pupil. Yeah, this is getting tough. But the Pilgrim of the Ages can buy us a little bit of time here. Do I want to offer a trade for the Orator for that? I mean, I don't want to, but I kind of think I should. Because that counter getting flying is going to be terrifying. Okay, looks like we may need to be blocking it. Can we get some of them removal spells? Guiding Voice does get me Intro to Annihilation, which is a start. And it could at least enable an attack this turn, but I think I may need it more likely for a block. I could also consider Inkling Summonings. But I think I need to be playing... I think I need to be playing the Scroll Wielder this turn. Which means start from scratch might be good for next turn. Because next turn I could put another counter on something. So it's going to be risky because I'm about to block this thing. Like if they got a combat trick, that's going to be bad news for me. But if they don't, I could sort of see our way out of this. Because if all they're doing is hitting me for 3, we can be alright with that. Well, that's obviously worse. It's considerably worse. Incredibly worse. 8, 9, 10. All right. We're in rough shape, home team, because none of this works. God, if that wasn't a tap land, it might. I needed the introduction to Annihilation. Because I have to be able to take out one of the flyers, and I can't. Yeah, that one's game. I'm just showing them more cards if we do that. We can try to make ourselves better versus aggro. But I'm not sure that I have a lot that'll help in that department. Because I don't really need the campus guide. Like, that wasn't the problem. I need to draw expels. I need to draw shock. We need to hit Divine Gambit. Our own study break is looking pretty terrible. Because I don't need something to tap down blockers. I need something to stabilize. Maybe that would be better as a campus guide. No, it's just not blocking anything that matters. You know who I want. It's actually Biblioplex Assistant. And a hand that's relatively cheap. It's a relatively cheap hand with a lot of the cards I said I wanted. So, let's party. We're not even going to pretend to deal with that. They could have a way to kill that. What's up, Scott? I don't need to play it out into open mana. But hi to you as well, Dave. Planning to trade these off. If I can. If I can't, we're going to need one of them expels. Or the Wrath. I still have to trade for this thing, which is frustrating because I think that's just getting in more damage in the air, or they don't block it. I'd say without the Wrath, we're not entirely favored here, although Expel into another removal spell could start to do something. Yikes. Alright, show me that Wrath. Because we're going to need it. I don't think I play the Effigy here, because I don't think it's actually doing anything. I think we scry for the Wrath. Like, I'm probably dead next turn, or at least very close to it. But this isn't actually blocking anything. Juliaplex Assistant. Do you get back anything that matters? I mean, a shock kind of matters. It's risky that if I play it and they've been holding a removal spell, it just kills me. But if it is able to actually trade with this and then shock that, maybe we're still playing. But I don't know. They're sitting there on 2 spells and didn't have a... I guess, yeah, it wouldn't have been lethal. I think I'm supposed to bottom this and go for the Wrath. That might be crazy. We'll know here in a minute if I'm an idiot or not. Well, okay. That gives me one more turn to look for it, I reckon. No, it does. Yeah, it does. They could have killed me with that. Why didn't they kill me with that? I should have attacked for 2 there for what it's worth. Yeah, all I have to do is give this flying and I'm dead. Yeah, I had a lot of mana up, so maybe they were thinking I had something. It was a safe play. I want to know how far the Wrath was, so I'm going to do what I normally don't do and take one more look. And the world may never know. I ain't unhappy with that finish, though. We take these. We take these. So YouTubers, thank you for tuning in. It feels good to be back in Best of 3. For those that were following the saga, I am planning on making a run in Best of 1 again, but I think the time to do that is at the beginning of a season, not towards the end. I'm going to take a short break, chat, but you guys say goodbye to YouTube while we fire off this Stream Raiders battle. And I'll let YouTubers stick around and see it if they want to, you know? Maybe they were really invested about whether we were going to win or not. I don't know. Be nice to YouTubers, Calc. We need them. Those healers needed some help. I feel kind of bad for them. They got chonked. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. Well, first we'll finish the YouTube video. Wizard with the kills, Balstorm with the assists, rewards for Wizard, Techno Shaman, Go-Go Bronco, Yak, and Guiden Fort. Thank you for tuning in, YouTube. We'll see you next time.